Hello, everybody. This is Zachy from the Zachy Zone. Today, we're going to talk about, we're going to share like how I got into programming and then the blockchain. And then the next video, we're going to kind of say like, we'll kind of think about like, in my opinion, maybe what would I have done differently, or like what language would I learn first, like if I was starting today. Just different stuff like that. So basically, it's just to give like my opinion on things that might help other people if they're just starting programming and all that. One of the reasons I do want to share this story too is because, well, it just shows that basically you need to try stuff that you, in your area, in your field. You need to try different things because you don't actually know if you're good at them or not until you've actually tried them. So we'll explain at that part. You guys will see that part. And I think, because you guys probably think like just different stuff about my journey of programming. That's probably, like, you guys probably don't expect what I'm going to say on the video. So that's why I want to kind of share this video. So, essentially, basically, I don't know, when I was growing up, let's just say that, like, I wasn't really into computers. Like, I don't know, there really wasn't much to do. The only thing I was doing at that time was I liked playing video games. That was like, I don't know when I started playing video games, but it was pretty young. Sesame Street video game, whatever it was. I liked, playing the video games. Essentially, my parents said like, hey, like, you should only play like an hour a day, and you should probably only play on the weekends, not through school days. So I thought that was kind of, like I liked playing video games. So I thought that was kind of, not good at the time, I guess you could say. But actually looking back at that, I think that was actually really good. Because, my friends would play hours upon hours. Essentially, yeah, all I did was play video games, and I did schoolwork, and I did sports. I kind of think limiting the video games kind of got me into sports. I think sports are good. You learn a lot of lessons that you can't learn, or that I haven't seen, or I wouldn't have learned if I didn't play sports. Let's put it that way. Computers and, college and all that. There's a lot of things that you don't learn if you haven't played sports. So I think that was really good to get into sports and stuff. It's just whatever I played at school, soccer and just different tennis and just different stuff like that. So then, as we got on, I liked tennis, so I kind of quit playing other sports and I played tennis. I actually was really good. I was like second in high school in my team. I think my high school team went like 3 years without losing a game. Like, we were like really good. And then, so basically, when did I get into computers? Because that was basically my life, essentially. Playing a video game here and there, trying to get good grades in school, trying to do sports, stuff like that. So computers, essentially, I went all the way through, I would say up until I was like 13 in the 7th grade, without really even doing anything with computers. So I want to share that because I think you guys probably think like, I'm like age 5 I was programming or something. So that's not the case at all, which is why I want to share this story. So essentially, I did PowerPoints. We had to do a lot of PowerPoints. That's basically how I got to using a computer. And then I don't know, I kind of liked it for some reason. It kind of sounds stupid now, but it was basically, I don't know, kind of thought it was fun doing PowerPoints. So like I bought a book on it, kind of just read up on it. When I had free time. Just I thought it was interesting. So then it was mandatory to take a computer class in the 7th and 8th grade. And then in high school, you could do whatever. It was mandatory to take PE too, but then you could do whatever you wanted. So I thought, okay, excuse me. So when I got to high school, I thought, okay, I'm already in tennis. We played a whole bunch of games. We play 3 games a week, and then I practice on my own too. So I was doing a lot of sports. Let's just put it that way. One sport, but doing a lot of work on that. So I thought, you know what, let me just take a computer class because I don't want to do PE and all that. And then do sports. So, I thought it went fine. Learn more about PowerPoint or something like that. So, what exactly did I even want to do? I don't know. I really didn't know, but at the time I thought I was going to do something with veterinarian because I like animals and stuff. So going into 9th grade, I guess you're 15 at that time or 14 or something like that, I thought I was going to do veterinarian. I didn't even have any experience of any computers. So that's basically the point I want to make on this. Because obviously things change real quick. But you don't know you're actually good at stuff until you actually have tried them in your field. So essentially, I just got into it. Yeah, I could barely turn on a computer at that point. I know that sounds funny, but that's no joke. That's what was going on. So essentially, we did do PowerPoint. That's basically what that class was again, was more Microsoft Office. And we learned about the components and stuff like that, obviously. But I got into programming when I saw people programming. They were doing JavaScript, and they were changing the screen color with a button click. And I asked them what is that? Because they were older people, and they were like, oh, it's JavaScript programming. I'm like, huh, that's pretty interesting. So I kind of just watched them. Most of the people in that class were pretty nice. So I just watched them, and then I was like, this is interesting to me. I have no idea why, because it sounds stupid. But I went home that night and tried to figure this out and research what is HTML, what is this, and what's JavaScript. And then I think by the end of the day, I was able to get a button or some kind of similar thing with the changing color of the screen. So yeah, at that point I was basically yeah, this is kind of interesting, I think I like doing this. So then essentially that's when it started. So like I said, the 14, 15 didn't even know how to turn on a computer. That's kind of when the journey started on this. So then, I don't know, I picked up things real quick, obviously. And then, essentially, the end of the year, I was doing JavaScript, I was doing HTML, I was doing Macromedia Flash with ActionScript, and then in the 10th grade started picking up okay, let's go to EXE programming. That's kind of interesting to me now. I'm kind of done with the web programming, because remember, there wasn't Angular or any of that stuff. It was just I think we were on HTML4. So then Visual Basic with the VB.NET 2000 whatever 2005, I think. That was the first one that came out. It was the transition between VB6 and VB.NET. So, just kind of studying that code, producing executables, then C Sharp. Then I went to a little bit of C++, but kind of backed off it because it was confusing. We didn't have any programming classes at this school. School was kind of a small school. So essentially, it's kind of a self-taught journey at this point. So then I think in like the 11th grade, I bought, my first parts for a computer because I thought, all right, let's just try to do this and, build a computer. And then I just tried a whole bunch of stuff during that year. I think it was like, besides programming, because I wanted to see, what else did I like on computers. So I tried like, Blender with the 3D modeling and I don't know, just a whole bunch of other like video editing, just a whole bunch of non-programming things. Turns out I didn't like any of those and wasn't good at them. So we stuck with programming. And then essentially was I got into college. I was the last year in high school. I think I was doing C++, and then when I got into college, C++ was kind of boring to tell you the truth. So I thought, no, I'm not a master at C++, but I just thought, I just wanted to learn something different. So I went into assembly. I programmed in that for like the whole college. Essentially, my free time was programming in assembly, and then doing, we did Java and C++, and I think we did one assembly programming class in my college. But lots of theory. That's what a bachelor's degree is. That's technically a lot of theory. A master's and a PhD is even more theory. So there's obviously some applied stuff, but it's mostly theory. And then, I think I got like a graduated 3.89 GPA out of college. If you just take my computer classes, it was probably almost closer to 4. And I got like A's almost 100% and everything. I was on the dean's list almost every semester except for one. So then just basically I finished I don't know if you want to say it's like a 4 or 5 year degree, but I finished it within 2.5 years. So really just worked my butt off on that. And then also did assembly programming in the midst of all of that. So that's when I started getting into the, I'm used to not sleeping kind of mode, and kind of just working 24/7, because I wanted to finish college really quickly, and I also wanted to program on the side. And then, it just got farther with the jobs and the programming and stuff like that. So basically, we'll talk about the blockchain part in a minute, but I want to share a story because it basically went from, I'm 29 now, I'm almost 30. At the end of the year, I'll be 30. So essentially, I've been doing this for about 14 to 15 years. But I think most of you probably had conception, if that's a word. You guys probably thought I was like, I started programming at the age of 5 and, stuff like that. So that's not the case at all. Like I said, didn't know how to turn on a computer by the time I was 14. So I think I wanted to share that because it's basically like, I could be a good skateboarder. I don't know. I've never tried skateboarding. I don't really want to try it, but you don't know until you actually try out something, and then you're like, whoa. And I think it's a combo of, do I like it, and then plus, am I good at it? So I think most people have one of those areas. They just gotta find it. So that's why I want to say that, because I think a lot of people think like, well, we'll talk about that in the next video. But I think a lot of people think that you have to get in early on computers, and it's like, that's not the case, obviously, at least in my example. Blockchain, we'll talk about that quick. I saw about it in like 2011. It was like $2 for Bitcoin. Didn't buy any because I really wasn't interested in it. Just kind of programming. I don't know. I just read an article on it and was like, yeah, whatever. Then it wasn't until like 2013, or I think the end of 2013. I don't know. It was like 3 or 4 months after Mt. Gox crashed, so it went from like 1,300. I saw it again at like 350 or 450. And I was like, I'm gonna read about this again because it popped up again, you know. So I kind of read about it. I'm like, this is an interesting idea. I think the reason I also was interested in it was because I was a little bit more advanced in computers at that point. I also just thought the idea, maybe I was a little bit more mature too, because I thought the idea was kind of interesting. The whole be your own bank and stuff like that. I kind of thought that was just interesting. So I think that might have been why I picked up on it more. So then that's really when I got into it, started researching. I bought a little bit, but at that time I was in college, so like $20 a month or something like that. It wasn't a lot. But yeah, there was no doubt in my mind it was gonna be a big thing at that point. I just didn't have a job, so that kind of sucked at that point. But yeah, it was. I see people making videos like we didn't know, and it was like I totally knew it was going up, and it was gonna be a bigger thing because it's just the idea about it, like the freedom kind of it, and I think I was more into economics at that time too. So I think if you studied economics, you kind of know, like, hey, this is kind of an interesting / important deal. It's just vastly different than any other economic tool we've seen. So I think that's why I got into it heavily and just started researching it, buying a tiny bit of it, and then kind of researched other coins as they came out. And then, I kind of liked the privacy coins, the Monero. I kind of thought it was just interesting because technically I think that's the most interesting coin. I still think that today. And we'll talk about a Monero video specifically. Do I have any, what's my opinion on all that? But that's not for this video. But essentially, yeah, and then, I bought a mining computer during 2017, 2018. Did some, Moneros and some other CryptoNote coins we're not going to mention in this video. And then, met Gillum. I was already really into CryptoNote at that time, and then met Gillum, and then he said he wanted to do something with CryptoNote, but he wanted to do something different. Let's take it a different route. And at that point, that's exactly what I was looking for. There was one other coin that came out that was kind of doing something like that when they first came out, but they were kind of, not really good at programming. And I think most people know what I'm talking about when I say that coin. So I thought hey, this could be, the coin I was looking for, because I always disagreed with Monero's philosophy, but I'm a fan of their tech, but I wasn't a fan of their philosophy. Let's put it that way. So when I met Gillum and he explained this to me, it was his idea right at the bat. He wanted public transactions. That was not my idea. So, I was like, hey, this guy's got something here, definitely. And then, we kind of hit it off with the mining computers. He's started mining the same time I was, and we both were doing CryptoNotes. So that's just basically how I got into the blockchain and all that. I already had a little bit of experience with the code before that time, too, and obviously all my experience with programming. And the jobs I've had before of programming and all that. So I just wanted to share that video. But the takeaway from this video was basically, try different things job wise. if you have an interest to try them, because you might find you're good at something quickly that you never really, I didn't think about computers. Like I said, I wanted to be a veterinarian. So, yeah, it's kind of a vast change. Within a year, it was a total change. Um, Not knowing how to turn on a computer to, creating Flash games and ActionScript and JavaScript and HTML a lot. And I was at the age of 14. So I've only had 15 years of programming experience from that point. So, so yeah, I just wanted to share that video. So thank you for watching that video.